Hi, my name is Grace, and I'm here to answer your questions on how I got saved by Jesus and what's it like to be a Christian. So tell me, what kind of questions do you have for me?
Can you share the moment or experience when you first encountered Jesus and how you were saved?
So, when I was first saved by God, or the first time when I actually felt Him, I mean, in the past when I was younger, of course, I was more closer to Him, but when we're talking about the present, like, I was not close to Him at all. He was just like an afterthought. Um, when I first saw him, I would say he first appeared on um trying to- he first appeared in spring break last year actually. Like crazy. It was before I turned 18. It was in March of 2024. And very interesting experience. He got my attention through a vision, through my family's dog, like my father's dog, Max. He's a German Shepherd. He somehow got out of the cage, which is crazy. Like very supernatural, like kind of an intense moment when if you're in it. Like I witnessed this with my own eyes. You're talking to someone who witnessed the whole thing unfold. Not many people would believe me. They're like, that probably never happened. That's because they haven't witnessed it. Most people would only believe if they see it, not when someone else tells it that easily. But I've seen it. Even if you ask my family, they would say the exact same thing. But yeah, that's how God first got my attention. It did take some time for me to actually like open and read His Word, but that's what it was actually like when I encountered God. What other questions do you have?
What was your life like before you accepted Jesus? And what were the challenges or struggles you faced?
So, what my life was like before I met Jesus. Well, I could say this. I was just like any other person. I was a sinner. I was with the world. I didn't really care much about people. I wasn't really forgiving. I mean, I was kind to certain people, but not to a lot of people. I was kind of judgmental. I was kind of like a very different person, the way you can see now. Um, very greedy with money. Um, spend a lot, didn't really care. I kind of was a lot more lazy. I was procrastinated a lot. I still struggle with that, but I'm more of it's like slowly going away. But back then I procrastinated. I had friends. I was texting all the time. I was on my phone 24/7. Really bad and I didn't do much. Like um I was really neglectful of what I did. It was pretty bad, and I faced, like, a lot of challenges during those times, like, I was going through a rough time. I won't go in specifics, but, like, family family problems where, like, it was just a whole mess that broke everyone. My mother left the house, and, my stepfather and my brother, they were facing the consequences of it. I was too. It was just a whole mess, you know? I was really lost at that point, and I was just, like, texting more, trying to escape from reality, and I was facing a lot of hardships. I'm like, "I can get through this, I can get through this," hiding my emotions. It was the toughest time period before he came into my life, at least for a couple of months. That was the lowest moment of my life. Even beforehand, it was all right. I was just more worldly and watching movies more. Still the same thing, but just not a really great person than what you expect. Um, but those were the hardships that I had to face. Is there any other questions that you have?
How has your relationship with Jesus transformed your life? And what changes have you noticed in yourself since then?
Well, what my relationship was like when he actually came in my life, it was a bit rocky, you know. I was still very much disobedient. I was still like my worldly self. It was only until I read his word that I start really changing. Now, don't expect Christianity to be easy. No one said it was never going to be easy. And some people actually think, oh, you got it easy. Like, it's like sunshine and rainbows. No, it's not. It is not. Trust me, you will still have hardships. It'll be the hardest thing you will ever face. Why? Well, it's very simple. Let's just say you did something wrong. You're like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, people think they're innocent. You're not. You're dirty with sin. And when you ask God to, like, Lord, change me for the better, some people get offended. I almost got offended on some of the things when he was trying to change some of my life, like letting go of friends, like a lot of things. Like when you're denying yourself, that means letting go of friends that are holding you back. Family might come against you, even your friends, like or people, because you like turn your life to Jesus. It is very complicated. Like in the first 3 months when you fully change to Christ, like it will be the toughest time anyone has to go through because you're gonna be in isolation. And I went through that phase. It's not, it's hard. You know, you're alone, you feel alone, you just feel completely isolated. The only thing what God's gonna do is He's gonna help you guide through it. That's what He did with me. He guided through me the whole thing. And my relationship became better with Him over time when I studied His Word. I noticed that I is changing daily, my character, the way I acted. I even noticed like He even provided for me, you know? I noticed I became more different over time. There were still some improvements that he still wanted me to do, but I noticed it was different. Like I noticed I'm a lot more happier. I'm a lot more peaceful. Though sometimes emotions get the best of me, God still guides me. He literally gives me the best advice in His Word. That's the best thing I've ever seen. You know, it's amazing how God uh, say like interacts with you. You know, it's like a personal walk. I always wonder, like, where's the big assignments? Like, where's this? Where's that? You know, in the past, like, Lord, I'm ready. But I realized back then I was not ready because when it's a journey with God, like when you're building that relationship, my relationship is with Him is way better than before. Like, I'm still even improving my character. I'm listening to Him. He has the best advice, you know? He actually guides you. Um, um, how can I say this? And during that time, yeah, I would say we're almost like best friends, or like in a way, he's like a father figure towards me. You know, he's really there for you. He listens to you, and I listen to him. You know, it's a very interesting experience. You feel peaceful, and you get through the day easily. You know, man, even before it was Rocky, I mean, he would still tell you the harsh truth either way. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I did that. I'm like, forgive me, Father. You know, I'm very serious with this. I'm still gonna approve either way. I know for a fact, like some people, it's just like, huh? Like some people, when I tell them some of the things, it's just like, okay, or they don't really care. Some, even I haven't met someone yet, but some people will literally get offended. They're like, oh, stop, don't force your religion on me, even though I mentioned it. That's why you got to be careful. Do you have any other questions?
What advice or encouragement would you give to someone who is seeking God or trying to understand more about Christianity?
All right. To understand God, like when you're trying to seek Him and you feel like you're alone, I tell you something because this is what I faced, especially recently. When you're trying to seek God, don't expect things to be easy. And I tell you, don't lose hope either. You want to know why? God is still with you. He's still trying to help you. He's still trying to help you grow in the process. He works in you and outside as well. He works around you and everywhere, and especially in you. You got to continually pray to Him every single day, no matter what. Read His Word every single day. Do not stop. That will be the one mistake you do. And my father's always said this: if you stop what you're doing with the Lord, you will fail, no matter what. And I always remember those words: you will fail when you stop following God. I always keep that in my head. I'm like, Grace, you lose everything if you stop. So I encourage you, keep reading your word, spend time with him as much as you can, and pray to him every single day. I'm telling you, do the best times to do is in the morning. Do not be on your phone. And this is something that I had to come to realize too. I understand our phones are so great. They are so useful. Like for everything, like beyond, it's very addictive. But I'll tell you something when I noticed this too. God told me about it earlier. The phone could be very damaging, especially your relationship with God. If you have phone addiction, I mean with social media or anything like that, and sometimes if you're unable to cancel social media, like if some of you don't have it and give it up to Christ, that's good. But if some of you who are around social media, be careful. Like me, I can't really cancel social media. I'm gonna be careful with it. I'm trying to keep a balance to that where I'm off the phone most of the time and less on social media as much as possible, especially on the internet, because that can really affect you where you're trying to do something and then you're scrolling, reading your word. I don't recommend that you read online. Get a physical copy of the Bible and read it there. It's still like bonding with God, but you will still get distracted on the phone. It could be very, very damaging for you if you get really distracted by it. I recommend going like with your time with God, seek Him when you're alone. Like if you got family that's difficult or you got like the area that you're in is noisy, get out of there, go to a quiet place in a park or a place like this. um, an office, I don't know, but whatever place, it has to be somewhere quiet where you would be able to hear him and guide him. Do not trust in your own understanding, but trust in what the Holy Spirit says. That's the best thing I could give you. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, trusting God, not in the people, and He will guide you. You'll notice a difference when you give up everything to follow Him, and I mean everything. It could be, I don't know what your situation could be, but when you give up those things, you're like, wow, I feel a lot better. So, like, when He reveals you the root cause, trust it. Let it go. Do not even think about holding it. That's going to be the thing that drags you down. That's all. Well, I guess that's all the questions, right? Alrighty, I hope you have a nice day. God's with you. And may you have a blessed day.